is the story of an autoimmune disease. When I was 15, I played soccer. I played on 3 different teams and I played every single day, every day of the year. One day I started developing chest pain and we didn't know what the chest pain was. So I had to go to so many different doctors to get tests done. I went to the cardiologist, the rheumatologist, and I think I went to another type of doctor, but I don't remember what they were. I had an x-ray done, I had a CT scan done with contrast, I had an ultrasound, I had so many blood tests done. I had like an exercise test where you had to monitor your heart rate and like your, I don't know, while you were on a bike. A lot of the tests came back inconclusive. Blood work did indicate that I had a positive ANA the first time, and then 4 months later when I took it again, it was negative. Throughout all of this, the chest pain got worse. It hurt to breathe, it hurt to exercise, so I couldn't play soccer anymore. And I basically became a hermit. Eventually, after months and months of rest, it got better and I didn't have the problem anymore. And so I kind of just let things go. So fast forward to when I was 18, my levels are really low. I'm exhausted. I have no iron, which still a struggle to this day, but I was getting by. Okay, I was getting by. Then fast forward to 2019 and 2020 when COVID hit. I ended up getting COVID before I got the vaccine. So the first time I got COVID was in 2020 and I got hit hard. I probably should have gone to the hospital. I was bedridden for 2 weeks and it took me 6 months to be like back to normal. I lost 15 pounds. I couldn't eat. My throat was bleeding. I lost the nose, like the taste and the smell. I had excruciating nerve pain. My fever was like 104. My O2 levels were like 90. It was not good. So then 6 months after getting COVID, I could finally get the vaccine. So I got the first vaccine and I got ill. Like deathly sick afterwards. But that's what they said happens to some people and I'm one of those people. Then I get my second shot, deathly ill again, miserable. I keep going on about my way because I was like, oh, I'm probably fine. Around this time, it's about December 2021, and I actually ended up getting the booster shot. But 10 days after I got the booster shot, so like right after New Year's, I broke out in just terrible hives. Put the pictures here. Yeah, it's bad. It looked like a cow almost. Really bad hives all over my body and all of my joints were swollen and I was in excruciating pain. They couldn't figure out what was happening, but they put me on prednisone and I react badly to prednisone, so I tried to be on it as little as possible and on like a strong dose of antihistamines. What's really terrible is that I was breaking out in hives like that for 2 years. I didn't stop breaking out in hives until like early 2023. It wasn't every day and it wasn't as extreme as it was in those other pictures, but it was still like every day. So around that time I got the booster shot, I started developing the other symptoms in addition to those hives and swollen joints. Those other symptoms were like easy bruising, dizziness, headaches, muscular pain, joint pain, nerve pain, severe fatigues. And those symptoms just like never went away. There was times when it would be really bad and then there was times when it was like somewhat manageable, but they never went away. So then early this year, so early 2024, I was at peak misery and I was like, fuck this, something's wrong. I don't care what they say about my blood work being fine. I've got to do something. So I walked my happy butt into the primary care doctor and I was like, listen up. I am 23 and I am fucking miserable. It is hard for me to get up in the morning and go to work. I don't want to do anything. I used to be active, but it hurts. Like it hurts to do things. What is wrong with me? And my doctor was finally like, you're right, that's not normal. Like, let me order a bunch of blood work. From there, we ordered like a huge panel. She said we were going fishing to try and find something that was wrong. So we tested like my vitamins, we tested my allergies, we tested like my basic just like panels of cholesterol and stuff like that. And what we found was that I had the low iron, low vitamin B, low vitamin D. My gluten levels were high, whatever, like gluten sensitivity. So I had to stop eating gluten because I don't have celiacs, but I have non-celiac gluten sensitivity. And we also found that my ANA was positive. So this is now the second time my ANA tested positive in my life. So she called me up on the phone and she's like, okay, I'm going to put you on some vitamins so that you can try to get your iron up and, you know, go from there and at least work on that. But you need to go to the rheumatologist because you have some rheumatoid stuff going on. So then I get into the rheumatologist and I tell him all my symptoms and he's like very dismissive. I had a very bad experience with this doctor, but he put me on hydroxychloroquine. So at least he did that for me. 2 months later, I'm supposed to go back in for my 2 months hydroxychloroquine checkup, but I didn't want to go back to that doctor. So I called my primary care doctor and I was like, can you give me a referral to another rheumatologist? Which she did and ended up being on that same day anyways. So I went from one rheumatologist to the other. I love this guy. He very much helped me and he still stayed with the same diagnosis, which is fine, but he was not dismissive. He listened to what I said He kept me on this medication, except lowered the dosage because I was like dying with that dizziness stuff. So I went from one rheumatologist to the other, and then everything was fine, right? Sort of. I mean, this last visit at my 4-month checkup for hydroxychloroquine, I got my blood work done again because we wanted to make sure that there was nothing going on behind the scenes of like hydroxychloroquine doing something, wrecking havoc on me basically. ANA is still positive, my vitamin B and vitamin D and iron were all checked. My B and D are still low, but my iron's finally come up after me taking like 3 pills a day. Now, something that I'm looking into is my TSH levels for my thyroid because those have been decreasing for years. So they do say autoimmune diseases come in twos, so I could have UCTD and something else, or UCTD could morph into something else. It's just a never-ending cycle of fun autoimmune misery. But anyways, that's my autoimmune disease story, and that's just where I'm at now.